Russia claims to have retaken a border village in Kursk province. The Russian Defense Ministry announced that its forces had retaken control of the village of Nikolaevo-Dorino in Kursk province, which borders Ukraine. The Russian armed forces continue to repel Ukrainian formations in Kursk province. Units of the Northern Wing have liberated the village of Nikolaevo-Dorino during combat operations. The Russian Defense Ministry said on January 27. Nikolaevo-Dorino is a small village located near the border with Ukraine with a population of just over 150 people. The Ukrainian army captured Nikolaevo-Dorino during the offensive on Russia's Kursk province that began in August 2024. Thousands of people in Kursk province have been evacuated since the outbreak of hostilities there. But many are still trapped in the Ukrainian-controlled area. The Ukrainian army said it was opening safe passage for Russians in the area it captured. Alexei Karniushko, Russia's acting minister for border restoration and development, estimated on January 23 that the damage in Kursk Oblast caused by Ukraine's offensive operation amounted to 750 billion rubles, nearly $7.8 billion. The Russian military recently launched a counteroffensive operation in Kursk Oblast and recaptured areas seized by the enemy. The Russian Defense Ministry said on January 18 that its forces had regained control of 800 square kilometers, or 63.2% of the territory occupied by Ukraine in Kursk Oblast. Ukraine hopes that the Kursk operation will force Russia to withdraw its troops to protect the border province, stop the enemy's advance on the Donbas front, including Lugansk and Donetsk oblasts, and create leverage for President Volodymyr Zelensky's administration in future negotiations. However, the situation has not turned out as Ukraine expected. After being initially taken by surprise, the Russian army has strengthened its forces and mobilized tens of thousands of troops for the Kursk front, while maintaining its momentum in Donbas. Ukraine launched a counterattack on the Berden residential area in Kursk province on the morning of January 5. Mobilizing many tanks, armored vehicles and infantry. However, this counterattack seems to have fallen short of expectations, as open-source intelligence data as of January 17 showed that Ukrainian forces had not yet crossed the village of Berden, an area they had captured in the first days of the offensive. With updated information, Ukraine changes the commander of the Donbas task force for the third time in a year. President Zelensky has replaced the head of the Kursk task force for the third time in a year, while Ukrainian forces are losing ground on the Donbas front. In a speech on January 26, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky announced the appointment of General Mikhailo Drapachy, commander of the Ukrainian army, as commander of the Kursk Operational Strategic Group. This unit is in charge of most of the Donbas front, including Donetsk and Lugansk regions, and is tasked with defending the strategic city of Pokrovsk. These are the areas where the fiercest fighting is taking place, Mr. Zelensky said, adding that he had discussed the change with the commander-in-chief of the Ukrainian army Oleksandr Syrskyi. According to the Ukrainian leader, Mr. Drapachy's appointment will help combine the army's combat operations with the training of soldiers. The needs on the front line will determine the standards of personnel and training of the brigade. President Zelensky emphasized, Mr. Drapachy will replace General Andriy Natov, who has commanded the Kursk Operational Strategic Group since June 2024. Natov was transferred to the post of Deputy Chief of the General Staff, in charge of training and communications in the army. This is the third time in less than a year that President Zelensky has changed the commander of the Kursk Operational Strategic Group. The move comes as Russian troops are stepping up their advance on the Donbas front and are moving towards the city of Pokrovsk. They are moving around the southern part of the city and trying to cut off supply lines to Ukrainian forces there. Pokrovsk is an important logistics hub and one of Ukraine's main strongholds in Donetsk Oblast. If Russia takes control of Pokrovsk, it will weaken Ukraine's defenses and supply capabilities in Donetsk, bringing them closer to the goal of controlling the entire province. The Russian Defense Ministry announced on January 26 that its forces had taken control of Velika Novosilka, a strategic town on Ukraine's southwestern front in Donetsk, marking the latest advance in the Donbas region. According to Reuters,